Hi, I'm Lena. I used to think I had a perfect life. Good job at a marketing firm, cute apartment downtown, and parents who I thought had my back. That was before the accident. I remember that rainy Tuesday. I was driving home from work, thinking about the big presentation I'd nailed earlier. The roads were slick, visibility terrible. That truck came out of nowhere. Tires screeching, metal crunching, then nothing. The beeping monitors pulled me back first. My eyelids felt like they weighed 1,000 pounds. When I finally managed to open them, an unfamiliar face hovered above me. She's responsive. Lena, can you hear me? I'm Dr. Martinez. A woman in scrubs rushed to my side. Lena, I'm Olivia, your nurse. You've been in a coma for 8 months. 8 months? My throat was too dry to speak. Olivia brought ice chips, explaining things slowly. Head trauma, multiple surgeries, medically induced coma, but something was missing. Where are my parents? I finally managed to ask. Dr. Martinez and Olivia exchanged that look. You know the one, where people silently decide who's going to deliver the bad news. They were here daily for the first month, Olivia said, adjusting my IV. Then weekly, then her voice trailed off. They stopped coming 3 months ago, Dr. Martinez finished. They left a forwarding address in Florida. We've tried contacting them. My parents moved to Florida while I was fighting for my life? The room started spinning again. They told the hospital there was no point keeping vigil. Your chances were... Olivia stopped herself. What? My chances were what? They told the staff you were as good as dead. That continuing care was just prolonging the inevitable. I couldn't process this. My parents, the same people who cried when I got a B in high school math, who called every Sunday without fail. 2 days into my conscious state, Mark, my college buddy who works at the hospital in IT, visited. He looked different, thinner, worried. There's something else you should know, Lena. Worse than my parents abandoning me? Your accounts. They're empty. And your apartment was sold 3 months ago. I stared at the ceiling, connecting dots. My parents have my power of attorney. They cleaned everything out, used your medical expenses as the reason. But Lena, the hospital billing department says they haven't received payments in months. The betrayal crushed my chest worse than any physical injury. The parents I trusted had left me for dead and stolen everything I had. I want to see the paperwork, I said, my voice steadier than I felt. Every transaction, every document they signed. Mark squeezed my hand. You need to rest. Focus on recovery. I'm going to get strong again. And then I'm going to make them face what they did. Lena, no. They left their daughter in a coma and took everything. They don't get to walk away from this. In that sterile hospital room, with machines beeping and my world shattered, something hardened inside me. This wasn't just about money. It was about justice. Physical therapy was brutal. Every muscle screamed as Olivia pushed me through daily exercises. One more rep, Lena. You're stronger than you think. Easy for you to say. You haven't been horizontal for 8 months. Olivia smiled, but didn't let me slack. That determination is what's going to get you walking again. Channel that anger into something productive. She was right. Each time I wanted to quit, I pictured Karen and Robert, my parents, lounging on a Florida beach with my money. It kept me going through the agony of learning to walk again. Dr. Martinez monitored my progress closely. Your recovery rate is remarkable, Lena. Medically speaking, you're defying expectations. Spite is a powerful motivator, Doc. He laughed, but his eyes remained serious. Just don't let it consume you. Mark visited daily after his shifts, laptop in tow. We spread papers across my hospital bed like detectives. Your parents moved fast. They sold your apartment within weeks of stopping their visits. The money went straight to their personal account, not toward your medical bills. I scrolled through the bank statements Mark had pulled. They cleared out my savings the same day they put the apartment on the market. And look at these credit card statements. A $15,000 cruise, designer furniture. They bought a boat, Lena, a freaking boat named New Beginnings. My stomach turned. While I was lying here with tubes down my throat? Mark hesitated. There's something else. I managed to recover some text messages between them. The screenshots made me physically ill. Karen, doctor says brain activity is minimal. We should start making arrangements. Robert, Karen, we can't just give up, Karen. Be realistic. She's not coming back. We need to think about our retirement. Robert, what if she wakes up? Karen, the doctors say if she wakes up, she'll be a vegetable. Is that what Lena would want? Living like that? The timestamp was from month 2 of my coma, long before they gave up visiting. They were planning this from the beginning, I whispered. They saw an opportunity and took it. Mark connected me with his cousin, Cassandra Harrington, an attorney specializing in elder abuse and financial exploitation. She arrived in a no-nonsense pantsuit, reviewing my case with sharp efficiency. This is textbook financial exploitation of an incapacitated person. Your parents committed multiple felonies. Can we prove it? The paper trail is clear. They diverted your assets for personal use while abandoning your care. The texts show premeditation. As we strategized, my phone lit up with a Florida number. I put it on speaker. Lena, honey, it's Mom. We just heard you're awake. We're so relieved. My father chimed in. We're catching the next flight out. We've been sick with worry. The audacity stunned me. Where's my money? Silence, then. We were protecting your assets, sweetie. Medical bills were piling up. By buying a boat? A cruise? New furniture? You don't understand the strain we were under thinking we'd lost you. Save it for court. I ended the call, hands shaking. Cassandra looked impressed. I want everything back, plus damages, I told her. I want them to face a judge and explain why they left their daughter for dead. They'll try to settle, offer tearful apologies, partial payment. I don't want their apologies. I want justice. Mark squeezed my shoulder. Are you sure? They're still your parents. No, parents don't do this. They're just people who happened to raise me, and now they're going to face consequences. The weeks before the trial were a whirlwind. Cassandra turned my hospital room into a war room, prepping me between physical therapy sessions. They'll try to paint you as ungrateful or money-hungry. How will you respond? I'll remind the court that gratitude isn't owed to people who abandoned me and stole from me. Blood relation doesn't excuse criminal behavior. Cassandra nodded approvingly. Good, direct and factual. No need to match their emotional manipulation. My phone buzzed constantly with messages from my parents. Their tactics evolved from concern to guilt to outright bribery. We'll return half the money right now if you drop this nonsense. Think about what this will do to the family name. Your grandma is heartbroken over this division. I showed Mark the latest text. They're getting desperate. Speaking of family, I called your cousin Jen to let her know you're awake. The silence on the other end of the line when I called Jen was deafening. Lena, this is impossible. They told us you died 3 months ago. My blood ran cold. What? There was a memorial service. We all sent flowers. Karen and Robert said they scattered your ashes at Maple Lake. The betrayal cut deeper than I thought possible. They held a funeral for me while I was still alive? They showed us death certificates, Lena. How is this possible? Forgery. They needed a story to explain why they suddenly had money and moved to Florida. Dr. Martinez arrived with a thick folder of medical records. These should help your case. I've highlighted the dates your parents stopped visiting, alongside your continued improvement. He flipped to a particularly damning page. I documented their refusal to authorize additional treatments that would have accelerated your recovery. They claimed financial hardship while simultaneously withdrawing funds from your accounts. Can you testify to that? Already scheduled to, and there's more. Dr. Martinez hesitated. Hospital security keeps footage for a year. I had them pull the tapes from your room. The grainy footage showed my parents systematically emptying my hospital room of valuables, my laptop, jewelry, even the expensive watch my boss gave me for landing the Johnson account. They took everything except the hospital gown, I whispered. Olivia squeezed my hand. We're all behind you, Lena. The entire nursing staff saw what happened. The day before the trial, Cassandra walked me through my testimony one final time. Remember, the judge needs to see the real harm done. This isn't just about money. It's about betrayal of the most fundamental trust. What if I break down on the stand? Then you break down. Authenticity matters. Just don't let them provoke you into saying something you'll regret. That night, I couldn't sleep. Mark stayed with me, talking through my fears. What if I'm making a mistake? They're still my parents. Parents who told everyone you were dead so they could steal your money and start a new life. Lena, they left you to die alone. I keep thinking about holidays growing up. Birthday cakes, normal family stuff. Was it all fake? Maybe not then, but people change. And what they did to you, that reveals who they truly are now. I clutched the hospital bracelet I'd kept from my first day out of the coma. Tomorrow they see exactly who I've become because of them. Are you ready? No, but I'm doing it anyway. I took a deep breath. They thought I was as good as dead. Tomorrow they'll wish they were right. The courtroom felt smaller than I expected. I sat beside Cassandra, trying not to look at the back of my parents' heads in the row ahead. They hadn't turned around once. All rise. The Honorable Judge Eleanor Thompson presiding. The first hour was procedural opening statements, financial evidence. Then Cassandra called me to testify. Walking to the stand felt like crossing a battlefield. Please state your name for the record. Lena Turner. For the first time, my parents looked at me directly. Karen gasped audibly. Robert's face drained of color. They'd expected a wheelchair, a fragile shell, not the determined woman standing before them. Miss Turner, please tell the court what happened after your accident. I recounted everything. The coma, the abandonment, the theft. With each detail, my voice grew stronger. While I fought for my life, my parents told the world I was dead. They held a memorial service, scattered fake ashes. Also, they could steal everything I'd worked for without questions. Karen began sobbing theatrically. I ignored her. They bought a boat with my money while refusing treatments that could have helped me recover faster. They named it New Beginnings, because for them, my tragedy was just an opportunity. When their attorney cross-examined me, he tried the sympathy angle. Your parents were grief-stricken. They truly believed you wouldn't recover. Can't you find forgiveness? Grief-stricken people don't forge death certificates. They don't empty bank accounts the same day they stop hospital visits. And they certainly don't celebrate with luxury cruises while their daughter lies abandoned. Karen suddenly stood up. You have no idea what we went through. The doctors said you were brain dead. Judge Thompson banged her gavel. Mrs. Turner, control yourself or I'll hold you in contempt. That's a lie, Dr. Martinez testified later. I never told them Lena was brain dead. In fact, I consistently reported encouraging signs of recovery. The security footage played next, my parents methodically removing my belongings from my hospital room, laughing as they packed my things into suitcases. Robert collapsed when the texts appeared on screen, his own words condemning him. If she never wakes up, we're set for life. Judge Thompson's ruling was swift and merciless. The court finds the defendants guilty of financial exploitation of an incapacitated person, fraud, conversion of assets, and filing false documents. I'm ordering full restitution plus punitive damages of $1 million. Additionally, I'm referring this case to the district attorney for criminal prosecution. She looked directly at my parents. In 30 years on the bench, I've rarely seen such callous betrayal of a sacred trust. You abandoned your daughter and stole her legacy while she fought for her life. The court views this as particularly heinous. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed. The story went viral immediately. Within days, Robert lost his new Florida job. Their country club membership was revoked. Former friends deleted them from social media. 3 months later, I moved into my new apartment. Mark, Olivia, and Dr. Martinez helped with the housewarming. To new beginnings, Mark said, raising his glass. And to the family we choose, I added. I never responded to my parents' desperate messages after they were sentenced to 18 months in prison. Some betrayals can't be forgiven. Some bridges should stay burned. The inheritance from my grandmother arrived unexpectedly. She'd changed her will after learning what her son had done. The note attached said simply, "For a fresh start. Some family trees need pruning to stay healthy. I used part of it to establish a fund for coma patients without family support. The rest went toward building the life I wanted, one surrounded by people who stayed when it mattered." What would you have done in Lena's position? Is there ever a betrayal so severe from parents that cutting them off completely is the only right choice? Or should family always get a second chance? Some say blood ties should be preserved at all costs, while others believe that chosen family, like Mark, Olivia, and Dr. Martinez, is more meaningful than relatives who betray you. Where do you stand? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If this story resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more compelling stories that explore the complicated reality of family relationships and justice. Your engagement helps our channel grow, and we'd love to hear your perspective.